Konnichiwa, watashi no channel e yokoso, and today we're going to be choosing two new languages because I am finished with Hawaiian and Swahili. It's unfortunate because I haven't had the time really to spend any time in those two languages in the whole month of February. So ultimately, I only spent like no more than 5 hours in those two languages. I explained a little bit in my monthly update for February video why I sort of stopped learning those two languages, but essentially it was a mix between like not having the time to do so, also the motivation, and also the lack of availability for the languages to be learned. As in, like there's not many apps, there's not many ways for me to learn those languages. YouTube was a big resource, and also Duolingo. And as I say, Duolingo just wasn't a good resource for me personally. It isn't a good resource for me personally, and because of that, it sort of ruined my motivation a little bit. I could have used YouTube more, but I didn't. Again, I didn't have time, so it's just one of those things. But I feel like I studied those languages enough to like understand them more anyway. Swahili is definitely a language I would like to return to at some point, so I'm happy that I did a little bit of Swahili study. And with Hawaiian, probably not so much. Wanting to go back to Hawaiian, but there were still like parts of the languages that I learned, and I feel like a little bit more like I'm familiar with these languages now than I was when I first started this wheel series like a couple months ago. And so this is going to be the second video in this sort of series of spinning the wheel, choosing two languages to study for the next couple months. Again, these are only side languages, and so essentially, I'll still be studying my main languages, but these are just on the side when I'm a bit like needing a break from my main languages. These will be the ones that I will look into. Out of all of the ones on here, if I had to like choose without the wheel being randomized, some of the languages that I would be more interested in studying right now would be like Greek, Russian, Ukrainian, Arabic, Hindi, Serbian, Hungarian. I think would be like my main interests right now, and that's only because mainly all of those languages plus a couple more on this list are on the link, and so it'd just be easier for me to study them. I would be able to put in way more hours than I did with my Swahili and Hawaiian. Ultimately, if two languages are about to be chosen in a minute that are not those like few languages I just said, I'm still going to be interested in learning them. Of course, I did choose all of these languages myself, to then eventually be randomly chosen. But it's just at the moment I feel like those languages are the ones I'm more interested in, and I'll be more engaged and more motivated to actually look into them properly and try and study them. And especially ones with like different writing systems like Greek or Russian, for example. I'd be more interested in learning the writing script and the alphabet basically, and yeah, essentially like understanding that more, as well as potentially like other parts of the grammar and parts of like the culture and that kind of thing. So I'm just interested regardless, but they would be the easier languages for me to study. Languages such as Amazigh or Zulu or Thai, there's not as many resources for me personally, and so I feel like it's going to be harder for me to study. But we'll see how it goes. Even a language like Georgian or Armenian, I'd be super interested in studying, but there's not as many resources for me to look at those languages, and so they'd be harder for me to study. Anyway, enough talking. I'm about to click this wheel here, click the spin. I'm going to look away again like I did last time. I think it's more interesting. I don't know how long it takes for the wheel to spin, but we're just going to do it anyway. And I didn't mute my laptop, so you probably got the audio twice maybe through the mic. And has it stopped? Hey, Arabic, okay. I'm interested. I'm going to mute this so you don't have to listen to that like echoing through the mic. If it's echoing through, I actually don't even know. Maybe it's not. It's just, I'm not sure. Anyway, I've muted my laptop so you don't hear that anymore. Arabic. Super excited for this one. Real difficult language, I may just add, but at least I can study it on Link. I have messed around with Arabic before on Link. There's maybe like 10 words on there that I've clicked as known, all of which are probably just people's names, so I actually don't really know much Arabic at all at this point. I think Salam Alaikum is part of like the Arabic language. I'm not really too sure. Mad. Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to be looking into Arabic because it's such a rich language, and I've seen so many polyglots on YouTube that say like the moment you look into Arabic and you know, like understand it more and start to like, you know, just know the language more, you find like a big beauty in the language, you find a beauty with the writing style and whatever. And, you know, obviously so far Arabic for me is very like mysterious. It's the same way for me actually how Polish was before I started studying Polish, and you know, here I am a couple years later, very familiar with the language, although my level isn't like great, I would say, but I definitely can, you know, simply converse in Polish, and like it's way less of an enigma to me now than what it was when I first started. And so I'm hoping Arabic will be the same process, where it's like right now I have this sort of mysterious like cloud over Arabic, I guess, and I'm hoping to like remove that and like dive deep into it and understand the language just a little bit more by the end of 2 months from now, when I will be picking 2 more languages. Let's remove Arabic from the list. We can see the wheel getting a little bit, I guess, shorter, less slices on the wheel, and we're going to do this one more time. This is going to be real difficult with Arabic as well, but let's spin the wheel. And yeah, with Japanese, Polish, French, Spanish, Arabic, what else are we going to have on the wheel? Do you reckon it's done? Hindi. What are the chances that 2 languages that I said I wanted to study I've now just been picked on this wheel? Genuinely, my first time like spinning this. I don't want to like, you know, cheat or whatever. This the fun of doing the wheel is completely random. And trust me, I wouldn't personally pick these 2 languages at the same time to study, but because it's like I'm only dabbling in them a little bit, like a little bit here, a little bit there, like it's not serious right now. This is essentially like trying to see like which languages I would like to study then in the future. But this is like, I guess, trying the languages a little bit and seeing like how it feels to me, I guess. I wouldn't normally pick these 2 languages side by side. 2 languages, 2 completely different language families, 2 completely different writing styles. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but both are on link, and so I'm excited for that. I can hopefully learn at least a decent amount of vocabulary for the amount of time I'm going to be spending in them. And yeah, Hindi's really exciting for me actually, because you know, there's a lot of like Indian people in the UK, and Hindi's one of those languages that are just very well, like, you know, very very widely spoken here, as well as Arabic. But I feel like there's more Hindi speakers than Arabic speakers. Without looking up, I'm not really too sure, but I'm pretty sure there's more Hindi speakers. Only the other day actually, I went to a gig. We had a spare ticket, so we gave it away to the first person who would reply to this post we put up on Reddit, and it just happens to be someone who's from India who speaks Hindi as well as 3 other languages. And so obviously, like, just like that, I met someone who could speak Hindi. You know, just you know, it could have been anyone. And so like I feel like there's a lot of people in the UK who can speak Hindi, and it'd be cool to like know some phrases and, you know, bits like that, just so, you know, if you ever wanted to speak a bit of Hindi, then you could do. Mad. Let's remove that from the wheel, and you can now see the wheel has shortened once again. I'm super excited because now I've got these 2 languages, Arabic and Hindi, side by side, which, unlike the first 2 languages, Hawaiian and Swahili, which I couldn't really, like, I didn't have any apps that I could learn them on apart from Duolingo, which I've mentioned many times I'm not a fan of. Now I've got 2 languages, Arabic and Hindi, which, you know, was just a real good luck the draw, I guess, which I can study both of them on link, so I can just read in these languages, and I'm hoping that I can pick up the, you know, the writing style, the alphabets, quite easily, or at least like a decent amount, and I'm hoping that just by reading these languages I can pick up a decent amount of vocabulary. And yeah, we're just going to see how this goes. I'm going to make an update video, obviously, in, well, 2 months from now, not an update video, but another video, like, spinning this wheel, and at that point I will, like, discuss and explain, I guess, the, my progression in those 2 languages, but also my monthly update videos where I talk about the amount of hours that I spend in my languages. You will see, in March and April, those 2 videos, and how many hours I've spent in both Arabic and Hindi, and that will be basically a correlation of how many hours I've decided to spend in those languages because of the ease of using link to read in those languages or to listen in those languages. So I'm super excited for Arabic and Hindi. It's yeah, it's going to be quite a tough couple months to like look into these languages, but luckily, like I say, it's nothing too serious. It's just going to be like dabbling essentially and seeing what I can learn in a couple months. And you know, hopefully I'll find something in at least one of those languages that I enjoy, where in the future I come back to them and it's like part of my main languages once my 4 main languages are better than they are now. Thank you for watching this video. Appreciate you all for coming by, watching it. It was just a short little fun video for me to do, this little series thing. It's just fun for me to do, to pick random languages to look more into. You know, in a couple months I'm going to be picking 2 more languages which may be even more crazy than Arabic and Hindi currently, because there are some mad languages on this list. Yeah, stay tuned. I'll be releasing that video in a couple months, but for now I'll be studying my 4 main languages, Arabic and Hindi. Thank you so much for watching. Yoi ichinichi wo sugoshite kudasai. Ja ne.